Let's bring in, though, Albert Breer, the MMQB.com Sports Illustrated senior reporter over there. Albert joins me here on the show. Albert, when you watch the Perfect hit, again, it seemed to me like it was a textbook example of what the NFL was trying to take out of the game. Does he have any chance of getting this thing reduced on appeal?
Chris, I think the problem he has is exactly what you laid out there, which is his history. If this happens in a vacuum, there's no way there's even a one-game suspension for this. It's borderline without question, and you can see how he came in from the side, and he's going to make the argument that, Alex Smith pump faked and that he thought the ball was coming there. No matter how you want to look at this, there's no question that if this was another player, he would not be suspended. But fact is, this is Vontaze Burfict. He's got the history, and he has to know that the standard is different for him. The same way the standard is different for, Ezekiel Elliott when he goes into a bar at night. The same way the standard is different for Martavius Bryant when he's around marijuana. It's just when you've got a history with, a certain thing, then the rules are different for you. And clearly the rules are different for Vontaze Burfict than they are for any other player in the league when it comes to this stuff.
So the Patriots lose Julian Edelman for the season, torn ACL in that right knee. Any other team, any other situation, you'd say this is a catastrophic injury and almost 100-reception wide receiver. But with the Patriots, don't you kind of just sort of shrug and say, wow, Austin Carr is going to have a great year this year with Edelman being out? I mean, how significant is the Edelman injury?
Well, here's what I think they lose, Chris. I think you can look at the two Super Bowl plays over the last 3 years, and you can find it. The hit he took from Cam Chancellor, in Super Bowl 49, and then the circus catch in Super Bowl 51. In both of those cases, you see a quarterback who trusts, his receiver on the biggest of stages in the tightest of spots, and he throws it into traffic and trusts that his guy is going to come away with it. That's what Tom Brady loses. Now, look, they've got depth without question. They've got Gronkowski. They've got Brandon Cooks. They've got Hogan. There's depth there. There's depth in the backfield. They'll be able to make up for this, and it's not like they're not going to go 13-3 or 14-2 as a result of this. They'll be able to figure it out. I think where this could wind up costing them is in those tight spots when they're playing for the number one seed in December and when they get into the playoffs. Where is Tom Brady going to go? And when he's in some of those positions, does he hold the ball for an extra second? So is he taking more hits? I don't think that there's some sort of overarching impact that this is going to have where it's going to really adversely affect their win-loss record. But I do think there could be a cumulative effect with Brady, and I do think that there could be some spots and critical moments down the line where it's going to affect them. So, early on they're going to have to adjust, and there's going to be that adjustment period in September, and I think they'll be fine getting through that. And then I think later in the season when the stakes are high, that's when you really sort of feel the loss of Edelman. But they're so well stocked at those skill positions that I don't think much of it's going to be noticeable right away.
Talking to Albert Breer, the MMQB.com Sports Illustrated, joining me here on the Dan Patrick Show. I know that Mike Glennon is – you got a dog there, Albert? What's got?
Yeah, my dog's going crazy because the UPS truck just came in, and so sorry about that.
This is what happens, Albert, when you move to the suburbs.
I know. This stuff wasn't happening in the South End.
Well, let me ask you, before I let you go, let me ask you about the Bears quarterback situation. Glennon clearly still entrenched as the starter there, but the way Trubisky played in the preseason, is the leash a little bit shorter on Mike Glennon entering this year?
Yes, and the answer is yes, because I think now they probably feel confident. Well, I know they feel confident that they can create a scenario where they can put Mitch out there and get him game reps and not adversely affect his development, which is really the thing that you're looking for with a rookie quarterback. And I'd maintain what I've maintained all along here. They want to see Mike Glennon out there. They've made a pretty sizable investment in him, and if they win, there's no choice to make. If they find a way to stay in the playoff hunt, around Halloween and around Thanksgiving, then they're not gonna make a quarterback change. And if they get to the point where they're 3-6 or 4-8, then you really start to think about it. And so, I think the way you want to look at this, and the way I looked at it going into, if you'd asked me a month ago, what I would have told you is, yeah, I mean, if they're 4-9 in December, then there's a good chance that they're going to throw Trubisky in there and get him some experience. I think now, based on what we've seen over the course of August and the work he's done in the preseason and how they've been able to dress it up a little bit to make him comfortable out there, now I think it's feasible that you see that point come a little earlier, where if the offense is really struggling in October, then maybe you see the idea that they could turn to him. And that's based on Trubisky's play, and that's based on how he's come along. And so I think Glennon's ability to hold on to the starting job is in large part tied to the team's success and whether or not the team's in the playoff race, because clearly Trubisky is the future there. I just think what we've seen over the course of the 3 preseason games tells us that Trubisky has come along a little faster than they thought he would. And so the coaches will be a little bit more comfortable throwing him in there if it does look like the season's lost and they got to start working on 2018.
Hey, great to visit with you, Albert. Go sign for that package. And
thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
It's Albert Breer, the MMQB.com Sports Illustrated, joining me here on The Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.